Hey everybody, welcome back to the Katybrook LLC channel with Caroline Ye. So, as you can see, I'm still experimenting and trying to figure out different filming styles, different editing styles. So, this is what we're trying out for my week 2 update. So, the topic that we're going to cover for week 2 is what type of business that you want to invest in. So, as you get into the process of searching for business, you realize that there are a lot of resources out there, there are a lot of influences to follow. And a lot of the times, certain set of businesses get recommended to first time buyers. The reason why is these are stable, boring businesses that are cash flow positive and profitable. Examples of these types of businesses include laundromats, parking lots, ATM routes, automated car washes, HVAC businesses, and plumbing businesses. What I learned through going through these types of businesses is that because it gets recommended by all these people, it's actually very, very competitive because a lot of these businesses are very popular. So, for example, laundromats and car washes, they're actually difficult to find deals. And for the two deals that I have looked at, the sellers have actually asked for all cash deals. In thinking about the kind of business I want to purchase, I started creating a certain profile in my head. And I pretty quickly decided that I want to invest in something to deal with elder care and senior services. The reason why is we understand that right now is the ideal time to purchase a small to medium sized business because there's a unique opportunity in the market, which is there's a huge population shift happening right now. Baby boomers, who own the vast majority of the property in the United States and also own the vast majority of private businesses, are retiring at a very rapid rate. They estimate about 10,000 baby boomers retiring every year for the next 10 years. But what it also turns out is that a lot of these baby boomers who are retiring are also in need of elder care services. So at the age of 44, I see my parents aging very rapidly. And I see friends and family who are really starting to use these types of services. So I really understand both the application and the need for these services. And there's a growing population of people who need to start accessing these type of care. So the next part of identifying what type of business that I want to purchase is where am I going to purchase that business? So I've already identified that I want to do something with elder care and senior services. Now, I live in California, and California is a very expensive state to live in. There's a very high cost of living here. So, as seniors are retiring, they aren't producing as much income. Many of them are in fixed income. So, what they do is they often relocate to areas with a lower cost of living. So, I checked out the US Census database and I looked at first where are there already existing large populations of senior citizens and an aging population. And I also looked at where are these people moving. The areas that I decided I wanted to invest in is the southwestern United States, particularly Arizona and Nevada. And I identified these two areas because I ran a search for where baby boomers are retiring and the most popular cities where boomers are moving. And Arizona and Nevada are the two areas where populations are rapidly growing. And it makes a lot of sense. There's a lower cost of living, good weather, and large communities of elderly and retirees. I didn't focus on California because, as I said, California has a very high cost of living. And the cost of doing business here is also high. So I knew I wanted to buy and grow a business somewhere outside of the state. The next question is what size of business am I going to be targeting? So what I did is consider revenue. Now, the max revenue that I'm willing to consider is $10 million. dollars. And here's the reason why. Once you get beyond $10 million, dollars, what you start doing is you start competing with private equity firms for deals. And I'm not going to be able to compete against private equity firms. If I'm entering the senior care and elder service lead business, is who pays. Now, this is a really big part of the US healthcare system, especially for the elderly. And I knew that I didn't want to deal with insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid. It's a complicated system. It takes a long time to figure out. It also takes a long time to get paid, and the rates of pay can change depending on the laws. Having been in an industry that very much relies upon the federal legal system, it's something that I wanted to avoid. So, in targeting senior services, I also knew that I wanted to work with something that is a private payer system, which means that the customer pays for the services out of pocket. Another factor that I'm considering when I'm looking at businesses is what's called SDE or EBITDA. So, when you're buying a small or medium sized business, these two terms get used interchangeably, even though they're not exactly the same thing, they're close enough. And in my earlier videos, I do actually explain what SDE is. It's known as seller discretionary earnings, or you can refer to it as excess cash flow. So, in my mind, I want to start with a business that has at least $100,000 in excess cash flow. Some people might also call it profit. I end up changing this number later on. I will explain why. But basically, what that means is once you've purchased the business, it's running well, you've paid all of your expenses like cost of goods, your employees, your rents. So the SDE is how much cash you have on hand after you've paid all the expenses, and it's what's left for you, the new owner. So now that we've established a ballpark revenue and STE for the type of business that I want to purchase, let's talk about the seller profile because the type of seller and where they are in their lives does make a really big difference. And so, what I'm looking for ideally is someone who's looking to retire. Now, there are lots of reasons why someone wants to sell their business. They want to retire, people get divorced, they relocate, there's death or illness. But I prefer to buy from someone who's run their business for several years. It's going to be a minimum of 5 years, but 10 years is even better. And basically, these people have kids who don't want to take over their business. And therefore, they're selling their business that they've taken care of for this long period of time so that they can retire. Now, after I've established all of these particular requirements in the business that I want to buy, I was able to narrow down to a certain set of businesses that could appeal to me. So, the set of business includes senior home care, elder transportation services, elder daycare programs, technical support, mobile beauty care, even pet care. So, it's this really broad group of businesses that I'm considering, but as long as it fits the requirement that I'm looking for, I will consider it and ask for more information about the business. So that's it for this particular episode, my update on week 2. So please check back next week and see how my search is going. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section or reach out to me by going to my website, www.katybrooklllc.com. Thanks, everybody.